All right, beautiful. Jaffe, you can kick us off.
Right now, we ready?
Yeah, right.
We are ready.
Hello, guys. I want to welcome everybody to Nightshift Uncensored, Episode 3. It's hard to believe that we're already at Episode 3, but here we go. Today on our show, we have the lovely Charlotte, Lindsey, and Phoenix. Phoenix, how long have you been dancing?
On and off since I was 19, so I guess it's like 6 years now.
Yeah, where did you start?
In Raleigh.
And how'd that first day go?
In Cary. I started in Cary, a club in Cary. The first day was interesting because I didn't really have a first day. I went in there I never knew what a strip club was. I just was underage, so I went in there as a customer with a group of friends from college. I didn't know anything about strip clubs. And then
what
my
happened?
first day working was
you went in
waitress.
at the club?
Yeah, I was a
And
waitress.
how long did that last? About a week?
No, it lasted about 5 months.
Okay.
I was nervous.
You tried it out. You're like,
I
you knew you were
got
going to strip,
pressured
though.
into it.
Oh, you got pressured into it.
Well, not in a bad way. More like I was curious, and then everyone else would push me enough, do it, you should do it. And I was like,
What would they say? You have a nice ass. You should do it.
Yes, the girls would always be like, your body is so perfect, just do it. And I'm like, okay.
Awesome.
And it was just strong, so.
Yeah.
So the first day, how did that go?
For
Was it at the same club you were a
Yep.
waitress at?
Mm-hmm. The first day dancing, I sat around and just danced and talked to people like, it's my first day, hi. I was just talkative. I was very bubbly.
Yeah.
I didn't even make
nervous,
money. I made money just from being bubbly because some of the girls are I was nervous, but I was also just playful. Yeah. The girls were always like, it's her first day. They were so sweet to me.
Yeah.
And they would call me over and their customer would give me $20 just for being there. And
Just for being cute.
they would, I never even danced. I danced for maybe 3 weeks before I actually gave my first VIP dance. I only made money from stage and talking. I didn't dance on anyone for the first 3 weeks.
How did that first dance feel? What were you nervous?
I was. It was horrible.
Really? So what did you do though? What was your signature move?
They were so I
They
did
don't have a
it.
signature.
I know she's
No,
starting off.
I know.
What's it gonna be?
So working into the first dance, it was actually someone heard me talking about how I'd never given a dance, but I had been dancing for 3 weeks, and they were like, "I would love to get a dance from you." I was like, okay. I finally was for the first time, everyone who would ask me for a dance, I would always say, no, I'm sorry, I don't want to give you a dance.
I don't do dances.
I would say, I don't do dances.
No, I'm a dancer.
How are you getting paid? Stage. I made all the dancers were so sweet to me. They were like, look at her, she just started. I was so innocent. So I made money
You were
from
like,
being
this is
so
my
innocent.
opportunity.
And the girls were like, their customers would give me $20 or $50 just for being cute and innocent and just on stage.
And that was the
And
first
it was
3 weeks, right?
The girls weren't
And after
helping
that,
me
it
make
was
money.
all right.
It wasn't the customers. It was the girls bringing their customers to stage, and I was up there because it was just being up there.
Yeah.
But
So what-
the first dances,
yeah.
I said no to everyone, and then I finally was like, I'm gonna say yes, and I was like, let's do it, and I started. And I did it, and he was so upset because I did not take my top off. I did it. What did you do to the man? He was like, why didn't you take your top off? And I was like, oh, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to do that yet. I'm not ready. And he was just like,
She's honest.
okay, then
Yeah.
what are you? I was like,
gotta
oh, I'm
date me
sorry.
a little
So he didn't do a second dance? What the hell?
No, but he did pay for the first one. He was nice.
Then he ran away.
But he didn't get a second one.
You should
I
have
was
just
okay
put
with
more
it.
money in that slot and then just, gotten the fucking, take your top off.
I was okay with it.
So, Lindsey, I've always wondered this. I know that we work together. You're a bartender, right?
Indeed.
Right. So, this is your first time bartending in this type of environment, though, right?
Yeah.
What did you notice? What differences have you noticed from previous?
She fit right in.
That I fit right in. Jesus, I'm still trying to fit
You feel
in.
you're at home?
God.
Yeah.
No. The first thing I noticed, I had a couple friends tell me they would worry about any other girl working in a strip club except me, though.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, you're a
Why were
perv.
you worried?
You're going to be great with this.
The stigma.
You can handle it. You're good. I'm like, I know. I'm excited.
Yeah. Lindsey,
But,
Lindsey texts me every week when she gets her schedule and thanks me for it. She really enjoys her job. Yeah, thank you so much for this
listen,
job.
I'm such a nerd.
You have like a different type of background, right? Like you like really religious or something, right?
Oh Lord,
Well, there we go.
dear Lord, bless my heart.
I mean, you're not really religious, or maybe you're like.
I'm not really religious. I did grow up in a religious household. I was homeschooled
Whoa, wait. What kind? What?
predominantly for religious.
What
reasons.
religion?
I'm just Southern Baptist.
Right, yeah.
South
I don't
Carolina.
know anything about it. Small town.
Yeah, Chapin, South Carolina. My dad's an engineer. My mom's a linguist. They're both nerds. Really great people, though. And
And you're a wedding singer.
yeah, and my younger brother's a pastor too. Let me throw that in there. We all had a vacation this summer at the beach.
How'd that go?
Well, I thought that they knew that I was working at a strip club. Like, I'm not going to offer it, you know.
Yeah, but you're not hiding it either.
No, I'm not hiding it, but I post shit on, different handles all the time of what I'm doing. And like, the certain club that I work at, like promotions and stuff, I'll post things. And I said something on the porch the last night. I was sitting out there with my brother and his wife. And I went, yeah, man, I can't do this forever, but I love this freaking job and I'm making such good money. And I feel like, all right, I'm almost 40. Should I still be bartending at a strip club? And my brother went, what? And then I just started laughing because I went, holy crap. Like, you didn't know that? And his wife is like,
Have you ever said it out loud though?
no. And
so
his wife was like, I saw postings, but I thought it was just like a bar. And I'm like, what?
You are
Did you
at the
see our
bar.
flyers?
Yeah,
Like,
it is
come
a
on.
bar.
Edit that out.
The poll.
Yeah. Like,
I think if you are comfortable with who you are and it helps you express, you can do it for a long time.
yeah.
Normalize that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but for
To
sure, like
normalize it because especially like I
general,
do feel that way sometimes. I'm like,
you could fucking retire in a place like that. I've seen it. We've been in the business long enough to see people that have worked until they retire in age, and it's kind of
spoiled.
because at that point you have your regulars that have been coming to see you for a long time. They're slower in their approach, but they're very technical. So
Yeah.
it's a job, and
Some
yeah,
guys come in just for the bartenders.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no,
They're
no.
like, this is my friend. I'm here to see her.
And some titties.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
get
have
out
had
there.
regulars for so I've been bartending in Charlotte for like 10 years, and I've had regulars follow me from every bar that I've ever
Right.
moved to, and a bunch of them I know y'all have seen coming in just
So real
specifically
quick,
for me.
because Mr. Will has to actually go work the night shift.
I do have to do the night shift tonight, so I think somebody wanted to ask me a question about something.
Yeah. Actually, I wanted to ask if you can summarize this quickly.
Go
How
ahead.
did you guys all meet each other? How do y'all know each other?
Wow, that's
You can drop
that's a
a
couple
hint,
decade
drop a
old
little.
question. I believe the first person
That's
the
like
first
the
person
longest,
that I met was
answer.
I still call him by his first name. I call him Todd. It's Jaffe. I met Jaffe
didn't know my name
working
was
the
Todd?
door
Yes, I did.
at a nightclub here in the area. Back in the day, I was a doorman. And can I say what you were doing?
Yeah.
Were you a gigolo?
Jaffe was my resident drug dealer.
Oh, that job.
Statute of limitations is over.
That is
in every
shocking.
nightclub,
wait until the
that's where
episode
it's at.
ends and Duffy's gonna be like, you gotta take that
What
off.
the fuck is that? Right? Yeah.
Party.
So every
All
nightclub has to
these
have
years
its
with
atmosphere,
secrecy.
right? So
He's been retired. He's been retired.
Please do your speech.
Take 10.
And that never came up.
all right. So my next that's
He
how,
was kidding,
that's how we met.
guys.
Right, I'm
That's
just
how-
kidding. Jaffe was just a cool
Like the props,
cool-
like the
cool
balloons,
club
and things
kid.
like that.
No, he was not a kid. We're
a
saying
club kid?
no. We're just so that's how I met Jaffe. Later on, I moved to another nightclub where I managed and then part owned it for a while, and I needed a door guy for an event. I was having a Pimp and Hope party with Ron Jeremy. Can I say a name? Yeah, Ron Jeremy was going to be the host.
Are you serious?
And I lost my door guy. My door guy was a guy named
out.
a friend of ours, and he was just over the top,
show
and he
up?
lost. Yeah, I had him.
Okay.
And I needed a door guy. And I heard this young guy was working the door at a buddy of mine's restaurant, nightclub, lounge. So I went in and went to scope him out and steal him. And I ran into David. David was the person we're talking about. And tipped him. We talked, had a quick conversation. On the way out the door, I said, show up tomorrow at such and such a time if you want a job. And David showed up, and he said I was a real asshole. You want to tell?
No, I don't think that.
You think that? He thought he didn't get the job. That's what you told me. You thought you didn't get the job. At the end of the night.
No, actually, no. See, it's interesting how people's perception of stories.
This is
go.
what you told me.
Clarify.
No. I mean, it's been a long time since I've told.
I
Yeah.
feel like. So
No,
maybe he came
it
off.
definitely came and it was very spontaneous. And he offered me a job basically on the spot. I was like, "What?" He's like, "When do I come for an interview?" He's like, "Interview?" Like, just come this day and work. Are you ready to work?
can
And I'm
see
like,
that.
because he was,
See that face.
I was 20. I was not assertive, And he's 10 years older than me. So he's like, I was like, "Oh shit, okay, yeah, I'll come in."
Yeah.
And we didn't talk money or anything. I was getting paid $8 an hour at that other job, and they didn't let me take tips. So he was like, "I'll pay you.
That's
I'll pay you
crazy, dude.
I'll pay you $10 and you can take tips." I was like, "Oh well, yeah, of course." So I showed up and he's like, "Okay, just show me what to do," and I already been doing it. So this is how we do it here, and then that's how we met.
Now, he said at the end of the night, okay, he brought the stuff to my office, and he was like, "Okay, everything's good," because he didn't know if I liked him or not, because he said I was a little critical. And I said, "Okay." He said, "I guess this is it." I said, "What are you talking about? You got to work tomorrow."
Yeah, because he's paying me. He's
What
like,
you talking about?
"Hi," he's like, "Well, let me know when you need me." He's like, "I thought you were working tomorrow."
That's
It's like, you said you already work here.
Yeah,
I was like, "Okay, cool."
done.
So then I was gonna keep the other gig because the other gig was a Thursday, I think it was, or something like. And I was like, I was thinking of keeping Saturday over there. And as soon as they found out, they're like, "No, you're either here or you gotta go."
So when David came to work for me, he also ended up starting throwing parties. Matter of fact, in his office is the first flyer he ever had of a party, and he had a good social following and friends. And Carlos and him were friends from high school.
Middle
So-
school.
21
Middle
years
school.
ago.
What?
So that's how I met Carlos. Carlos used to
Okay.
come to David's parties or support David at the club. And of course, I still had my friend who also threw parties there, Mr. Jaffe. He also threw parties as well. So through that establishment, everybody met everybody.
Yeah.
And then
Well, I mean, it gets
right.
It gets a little funnier.
It gets funnier than that. Jaffe went on to Red Door. I think David did some work there as well. And
He
then
dropped
who was
his
the
other
Jaffe
business.
was the first one to go to the club that we all work at,
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
and we've all followed. And I'm being the last actually.
Oh, Jaffe was the
He's
first.
the oldest, but the last.
I did
Yeah.
not know that.
Jaffe was the OG.
Yeah. I walked in.
I thought Will
had
was
a friend-
first.
Oh yeah, I had a friend that was the manager. He was like, they're looking for a floor host. There was no upstairs. I'd never been in a strip club.
Really?
So I walked in.
How long ago was this?
This was 2003.
Nice.
Yeah, so I walked in and the manager, I remember, I don't know what I was wearing, but I was not in a suit. And I walked up and the guy like came downstairs and he just like looked me up and down. He's like, "Yeah, you're not what we're looking for." I'm like, "Well, what do you mean?" He's like, "I don't know, man." He's like, you got to clean up." I was like, "Clean up like how?" He's like, "Just clean up." I was like, "All right." So I went to K&G on South Boulevard, bought my first suit, went in the back, paid the little Asian guy some money. I said, "I needed this, fitted by tomorrow." Picked up the suit, went back at the same time. It was 2 p.m. I'll never forget it. And I asked for the same guy. The guy comes walking down the stairs and he looks at me up and down. He's like, "You want to work here that bad?" I'm like, "Yes, sir." He's like, "I guess I got to hire you." So I got hired. I started working as a floor host on Tuesdays. That was 1 day a week for 2 years. And then it was Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then when we opened up the upstairs, our boss was like, "I want you to be the floor host for the Sky Lounge, for the upstairs." And that's how it started. And then, David, we needed another floor host.
Yeah.
So Tim was there. Me and Tim are both bald. So they were like, "We need another floor
I
host."
mean-
And David had
Except for
All
Will.
of you are except Will.
Is that a requirement?
yeah, no. But
it's called age.
Will
Yeah.
slip through.
But I told him, I was like, "I got this buddy," because David was throwing these big parties. Like he was for the Latino community. David Rumba. It was Rumba Productions. He was the man.
Oh, I remember that. I actually did a
Is there an
video.
Instagram
for-
or a
It
MySpace
was-
for
yeah.
that?
So I was like,
Used to be at MySpace.
I want to see MySpace.
Yeah.
He knows what I got.
2003?
Yes.
That was it.
Yeah, David was the man doing that. So I was like, "I got a buddy that would be perfect," And I remember them saying something about him being bald or something. I forget what it
I
was.
don't know, but
I thought Tim worked there because I remember when our bosses.
Can I
came in
say
all-
something about the bald thing? I'm sorry. I just got to throw this in there because it makes me crack up every time. When I first started, I could not keep you guys separate. Or I
all
was
bald
just
people
like,
look the same.
The all bald people look the same.
Everybody say bye to Will.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Bye, Will.
Catch you in the next one.
Hey, so here's the punchline of the whole friendship thing. So me and David were friends, working together. Well, David and Carlos have been childhood.
Let me tell that one.
Okay, go
Let
ahead.
me tell that one. Yeah. There's-
Don't go, Will.
we
Come
have-
back.
We have stories for days. But he was already working. David was already working at the club. Actually, I had met Jaffe once. I had met you before, but it was like a big group thing.
We had never talked though.
No, we went to Vegas.
You
Yeah, we went to Vegas.
together.
So we got
They
to tell a
didn't
little
talk,
bit.
they
of
just
this
drank.
Vegas. So we'll tell a little bit of this Vegas story before I tell you how me and Jaffe became actually friends afterwards. But David, he's like, hey, he was working at the Red Door. He's like, hey, we're having this thing in Vegas. You want to come? And I had just moved in with David. It's the first time I moved out of my house. And
No way.
yeah, I had just moved out. I was 22.
Really?
2006.
Yeah, and he's like, you want to come to Vegas? We can like share rooms, whatever. So we went to Vegas. Long story short, it was like the most epic party.
Yeah,
I've
epic.
ever been
was-
to.
Vegas is that whole
I want
episode.
details.
It was
like
That shit was wild.
Listen, but I'm
Uncensored.
talking about-
Our interaction to
I'm
Vegas
like-
was fucking epic.
it was a
like-
Red Door fashion
I'm
show
a-
with
I'm a
Hustler
college
Magazine.
kid. I'm a college kid, like
That's another-
straight A's. I was really good, right? So then we went to we go to Vegas.
Really good.
We go to Vegas. It was
He
this
was
club,
straight edge.
Body English club.
He just got
We
drunk.
had the VIP room with was it like Fat Joe and Paris Hilton were there.
Yeah, that's sick.
And then we were a really, we grew up in middle school being really big fans of Cypress Hill. You guys have heard of Cypress
Hell
Hill?
yeah.
So we're in the VIP room and
It's from the
and like
bong.
David's like, hey man, Be Real's in here. Be Real, the rapper, and I'm just like, what kind of life am I living? So we went and bought him a shot.
Yeah.
Anyway, we had an epic trip in Vegas. A couple years later,
It's a whole story, a
yeah.
whole episode.
It's a whole episode. of
Yeah,
Vegas
for
story,
sure.
Yeah.
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 Remember
So
that?
it was-
Make an episode.
I mean,
about
it was huge. Like we were okay. Be Real handed me a blunt on stage while Tommy. No, it was Tommy Lee.
It was
Tommy Lee was
Tommy-
DJing.
DJ
Nikki
Tommy
Six.
Lee, like,
Tommy Lee was
very
playing the
sick
drums.
jamming.
Doing a
Nikki
digital
Six.
drum
Nikki
set,
Six.
and
What?
DJ AM was DJing.
Yeah.
And
DJ
I got
AM
Be
and-
Real handing me a blunt. I didn't smoke weed. And I'm like, I'm not saying no to Be Real.
Yeah.
So we're sitting here smoking. I'm like,
Peer
what?
pressure.
No wonder you guys
are.
are thick as thieves. I'm just gonna say that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So yeah, that story.
That is
was,
friendship,
It's crazy.
yeah. Right?
So a couple years later,
We'll go in depth on that one.
yeah, a couple years later, I'm working at a car dealership. I was doing all right up until the recession or whatever. So I needed a new job. And David's like, man, we're killing it. We're making money, but at the same time, I hated them because I worked a regular job and these guys are partying all night. And I'm like, I got to be up at 8 a.m.
Straight
So one of these party nights, I'm in my own room. One of these party nights, I'm asleep. And for some reason, I don't know why. I used to sleep with like my gun always nearby. I kind of still do, but somebody comes into my room.
Got a knife.
Somebody comes into my room, right? So I'm like, I gotta be up at 8 in the morning or 7 in the morning. I wake up and there's some bald dude. I thought it was David at the time, walking into my room, right? And I'm like, what the fuck? And then opens my closet and starts peeing in my closet.
Shut the fuck.
Right?
Wait, which
So
one
as
of
soon
you
as
was it?
as soon as I hear the stream, I like grab my gun and I'm like,
You know
what
his
the fuck
stream?
is going on? And this dude is fucking out of his mind, pissing in my closet.
No.
So he ended up having to buy me $400 worth of shoes.
Wait, just to clarify, who was peeing in your
shoes?
closet?
Me, that
John-
one.
Hey,
that one right
So
there.
listen, I was so banged up. I remember waking up. Me and David had come back to the house. We had a bunch of chicks. It was just me and David. Apparently, earlier before that happened, David was sitting with the girls and they thought that the faucet was on. So David said he got up to explore the house and he saw me in the corner peeing.
He's a peer.
So David's like, dude, he's a fucking peer. Put him to bed. So I guess they put me on the
Listen.
That's a term,
That's a
guys.
trait you
Living with their
carry.
fear.
No.
Listen, when
Yeah.
you when it's an after party at our house. I come around the corner. I've put Jaffe to sleep. He was in bed. He had a blanket. He was good.
Almost shot.
And so then I come back
my
around the corner to
God.
check on him, and he's literally has already peed. Listen, if you've had a pet and you've picked up pet pee, it's a lot, right?
Big puddle.
If you've ever picked
a
up a
big puppy.
human's pee, it's towels. You have to use towels. And I'm like, and he won't stop.
On
I'm like,
shoes?
Jaffe, Jaffe, stop, no, and he just like, shh. So
the best day
he
ever.
didn't know, I already knew that he did that. No one else did. I just
And I had
put it
no
back down
idea.
to sleep. I cleaned it up. It took
You know
forever.
what's funny, David? He probably had
There's
that
no
exact
cleaning
face.
that
right
up.
there.
That's like a carpet cleaner.
No, bro.
So then that's when Carlos comes after that.
We were roommates.
He comes to me, he's like, dude, this dude is peeing in my closet. And I'm like, what do you mean? I just, because I had already wiped his entire pee and I put him to sleep again. And I go in there, I'm like, oh my God, what the hell?
Oh,
I was like,
no.
I'll get him to pay. I'm always been
You
too
guys are
relaxed. I'm like,
family.
listen, man,
Family.
I'll get him to pay you for the shoes. He's like, it's not about the fucking money. It's about the principle.
Joggy, you still do that,
Hey,
don't
I was
you?
pissed.
I wake up on.
It's like a habit.
I would not
No,
want to
it's
see you that
it's
angry.
definitely
At
not a
that point, I
habit.
was already really pissed.
It's a
'cause I was
one-time
partying every night,
experience.
so I could never sleep.
Just this
Yeah.
And now I got this dude pissing on my shit. You know, like I was ready to kill him, to be honest. You know?
Hey, so I wake up on the couch, right? Not knowing anything. I wake up and I look over and there's a pair of Diodore, which is like super nice soccer shoes,
They're
and some other
Predators.
pair of shoes right beside me, soaked.
No.
You know, so I know nothing. And I just see these shoes and David's like, dude, I need fucking $400 and I need it now. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, I need $400.
I was so
He's like, you
pissed. I was
fucking
like-
pissed on my floor and you pissed in my roommate's closet. Give me fucking $400. He's
I don't
so
like seeing
fucking
any
pissed.
of y'all angry, so
And
I
I'm
can't
like,
imagine
and
that.
I'm like,
A lot
okay.
of people are pissers when they're drunk.
So
Yeah.
you know, like later on, when I started working at the club, I was never gonna tell anybody that story, you know. But like Jaffe's the type that he literally told everyone before I used to.
Oh, it's
know.
funny.
You're
Like so nobody can make fun of it.
Yeah.
That's why I do it when I do something
I
crazy.
tell you
Just so you
before
know,
they-
I pissed in his shoe.
When I do something crazy, I do the same thing. But
By the way,
since we were talking about the pee,
Yeah.
can we just talk about that guy that came into the club in the pee chair?
Which time?
Oh God! I just
wow.
realized we
People are-
just reupholstered the
When
when
chair.
people are
There's
drunk,
been a
people
shit
pee.
situation.
You mean the?
He was like 80.
Oh yeah, the old man.
Is there like a
Rather
golden
shit.
shower night?
No.
It wasn't
Apparently,
an event, but
I think it's like when certain people get older, they can't control their bladders, and when they get dances,
all of us.
Yeah.
when they get dances, I guess they really can't control it. So
That's
like,
me
I
with
have-
2 shots of tequila and I'm
Yeah.
just pissing all over.
Yeah, but this guy like
Duly
pissed on
noted.
himself.
at that Starbucks.
And this, like at first, he's an older guy, and I'm like, I'm like, hey man, you need to go to the bathroom. We had to. I think we had to
telling
throw away.
him.
We have to reupholster.
We had to
You
throw
had
away
already
the chair.
reupholstered the chairs.
We had to. We
and you had to throw that one
reupholster it.
away
We
again.
had to throw it away, and then here he is, like 2-3 days later, and does it again.
Yep.
I'm like,
oh,
I'm like,
a girl
"Dog,"
sat in it.
Like, I'm sorry, until you get that problem fixed, I don't think
A
you
girl
can
sat
come
in it.
back. It's costing us a lot of money for these chairs, Like,
People get drunk, they can't control
it is
their bladders.
embarrassing. He's a nice guy.
He is. I didn't even know he had done it the second time until a girl came over and sat at the bar and went. And I went, oh.
I have a question for the managers.
Yeah.
And I would like each of you guys to individually answer, what's probably the most challenging or annoying thing you have to deal with working in that environment?
Women.
What would
I
hap-
can start on that one.
yeah.
So my role personally, I'm soft sometimes, and the nice guy. So
All the time.
Sometimes.
when there's literally, 10 girls a day, 200 girls a month coming in to apply for this position, there's no easy way to walk into a room and to tell somebody, hey, you're just not what we're looking for. When it's based on when it's based on the person's personal appearance, so it's like, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but how do you tell somebody no without hurting their feelings? So I always
You're the best one.
In
for
this
that.
industry, you have to be.
no. So exactly.
Bobby, you've
But when I first
to me about
started, I would like beat around the bush. I'd be like, we're just not, it's just, I just didn't want to say, hey, we're just not, you're not what we're looking for. We're not issuing contracts.
When you sit with, when we sit with
David,
women
Mike.
that come in,
Microphone.
when we sit with women that come in, we have a conversation, to see if the personality is, also fitting for us too. Are they like, you can tell the difference in
Yeah,
people.
I've never just walked into the room with any of them and just walked in and been like, nah. I always walk in, ask them where they're from, tell them thanks for coming out,
general.
You can tell if they just got out of jail.
find their story,
type of
They got their
type of
papers in their
vibe.
hand,
And I'm like,
sandals on.
like, hey, do you have IDs? Like, I don't have any identification on myself. I'm like, oh, okay, so you don't exist. So
Yeah.
you gotta. It's not just looks. You gotta look at the whole package.
Do a lot of
and,
people do that?
Oh.
Without ID?
man, people come crazy.
Lindsay,
so-
you
I'm
have
so
no
naive.
Man,
idea.
you got girls that
So naive.
You get girls that come in like at 2:30 in the morning
With the
on a
bag of weed in
weekend
their
night,
purse.
Like,
Just put the blunt out.
Like, yeah, you're like,
but I also tell Jaffe a lot of times that you do have to understand that for the most part, a lot of times this is not like their best moment in their life, right? So like we have to have a certain understanding
you have to
that
be
like they're not like this is not their
empathetic,
dream
too.
job, like for some might be, but this is not their dream job. So you have to have a certain understanding
Last
and maybe
chance,
like
let's-
set an expectation. I think.
They're comparing us to other places, though,
And
and we're not the same.
no, not at all. And I don't want to.
well, there's different tiers of places, just like there's
Right.
different tiers of bars.
Right.
You have your neighborhood bar, and then you have your bar at the Ritz, Carlton. So
the neighborhood bar doesn't sell Ace of Spades, Rosé, or Cristal.
we're not the neighborhood bar.
Right.
All
Yeah.
right, so what about you, David? What's probably the most challenging thing for being a manager there?
I don't know. I mean, at this point, it's like I've been doing it long enough to where it's not necessarily a challenge, but it's like you got to look at things that need to be fixing, or management is probably the toughest with staff. Because how do you keep people motivated all the time? There's good days, there's bad days. So, when you spend so much time with people, we're there a large amount of time of our lives, right? So you spend a lot of time, you become family. So there's blurry lines of professionalism, where people just kind of slack, and then you slack too, and so that whole control, that management aspect of it it's interesting, to overcome and to keep present all the time.
It's a
You
lot.
become complacent.
I can
When
imagine.
you do have to say something, it's like people are sensitive.
And then there's so many personalities. 95% of the people I work with are female, so everybody's got their own different moves and feelings, and anytime you say something that you think you're mad, and it's like, I'm not mad.
Yeah.
And you guys all sync up.
Yeah, we
No,
all
dude.
think of.
Yeah, when one's
It's
yeah.
crazy.
So it's Hell Week.
So
That
I
is-
think the challenging aspect. I mean, there's so many parts of the place. You have different elements. You have alcohol. You have entertainment. You have service.
Greed,
You have
money.
you have kitchen.
Yeah.
You have customers. You have money. I mean, there's so many things. I mean, so
Managing that is
there's different challenges from different parts of the business, but for me in general, the most challenging is keep people motivated, manage people,
What about you, Carlos?
For me, it's probably like, like I in that place for some reason, or however I am in my life, I'm always like the cheerleader, So I'm always like trying to like keep people motivated, keep people happy, and like hoping the best for them, and like or trying to teach them the most so they can do the best. And then it gets to a point that your cup runs out.
yeah.
So it's like whenever like I get to certain points that I'm just like, like I'm out. Like I don't have anything else left to say.
Yeah.
And it's like I almost end up like in like a dead space. Like so that's the tough part for me to like refill my own cup sometimes. So
I feel like
probably
you're
why I
good at
drink.
that. Yeah, no,
Pretty good at that.
no,
though,
you-
too.
no,
Everybody.
you're amazing at that. Honestly, I get
Yeah,
it.
but
do
I
you
think
Behind the
it's
scenes,
everybody.
talent.
It's not like one person needs to make money. Like everybody needs to make money.
Right.
So like
Right.
so like the person that's making money, they don't need cheerleading. They're good, but there's a lot of people sometimes that are not making money. You need to keep them happy. You need to keep them motivated. And sometimes it's a large part of it. And then you need everyone in order to be able to have a successful place and a successful night. So it's like, a couple people are doing well. That's not gonna cut it for the rest of the people because they're all upset, they're all sad. So you try to keep them motivated, keep them happy, and then and then sometimes those same people, they like take shit the wrong way because you're trying to motivate them. They don't want to hear your shit.
That's true.
For the girls
Yeah.
and the customers too, you want to make sure everyone's.
Yeah, so that's probably the toughest part because I really do enjoy.
Because it wears you out. Man.
Yeah, where's my like it gets to a point I feel like I'm never gonna get worn out.
Take
and-
it personal because that's what your gift is. So you don't take that stuff as something negative towards what you're trying to teach.
No, it's not negative. I'm
Kinda-
saying like it gets to a point that I'm just like,
Yep.
Yeah.
I get
Like I have nothing
Draining.
left.
Oh, that's
No one's filling your
I even feel like that as
When
a
you're
bartender
giving out
though,
the
with
energy.
customers sometimes.
Yeah, I bet.
I hear
'Cause
their
you're like-
stories and all their.
You're taking a lot of stuff.
I know.
Yeah, you're
And
taking a lot
giving.
of. I love.
Because
I know.
you're
I'm
giving
too
the energy.
nice like that.
a
Okay.
lot of energy exchange, and
Yes.
like
Yes.
you know,
So-
you sometimes need. The
And then they come
positive
back and I
energy
hear
to
the same
feed you.
thing over and over. And
So
I
how
finally
about
just go,
how about
Maybe that's
so
what we
same
all
question?
do.
Yeah, same question for you ladies, and I'll start with Charlotte. What's the most challenging thing for you in this industry?
Challenging. I mean, I think the whole therapist role is like, I'm okay with that.
But that is the most draining, probably.
No,
right?
I
Not
mean,
the physical
no,
aspect, but the
it's not
mental?
draining for me.
Okay, you enjoy it.
I feel like 70% of these guys want someone just to talk to instead of, I mean, I guess that's their form of entertainment, is someone just to vent to or talk to about their problems or just their day. And so I don't feel like it's that draining. I enjoy that. I think the draining part is like, I don't know.
Physical aspect.
Yeah.
The
guys that are like, if I'm gonna take you VIP, like, what do I
What
get
are we
out
gonna
of it?
do? What do I get?
Right.
What do you get for
Me?
500?
I love that.
Yeah, that's the draining
I
part.
love turning it
But
back to them. I'm like, what
I
do you
love
think
the
we are, a
party
whorehouse?
or the therapist part of it. I love all that.
Nice. What
It's not
about
draining to me.
you, bartender? What's the most challenging part of your job? Because you're bartending in itself is challenging. but-
bartending is entertaining. You know, you're like
Oh,
you're like
you're
the
so good at it.
juggler behind the bar.
You are
I'm
amazing.
sorry, I'm like-
Amazing.
Can I just say?
Lindsay just stresses out about doing something wrong.
I do. I stress out when I make any mistake.
But you're bartending at a strip club. So
Oh, yeah.
what is that like, and what kind of challenges does that bring?
It's a lot of pressure, but it's so much fun too. I have a blast. I enjoy it when I'm the only bartender because I get to do everything, and I'm so ADD that I'm just great at like multitasking. I'm like, oh, let's go over here.
You're on your shit when you're the.
Thank you.
You make the best lemon drops.
Thank you.
Those bloody lemon drops.
Oh, I love me
I
some
pride myself on being really fast. So probably the most stressful part for me is letting anybody down. I'm always like, I'll look at the girls and go, sorry that took so long. And they're like, Lindsay, it's fine. It's not a big deal. I'm like, wait, I don't have this. Hold on. I got to get Larry to get it. You know, just I want everything to be perfect. And when it's not, I'm hard on myself. So,
Phoenix.
but that's just me. Gotta calm
What's the
down.
most challenging part about your job?
I feel like it's like, okay, some people.
I never see you at work anyway.
Day shift.
It's more like day shift instead of night shift.
I do this.
You switch, yeah.
I'm always there during the day shift. Did some doubles recently.
But is that like a whole different world?
The day shift?
The night shift?
It is. It's.
Yeah, I
It
haven't worked day
is
shift.
actually, in the sense of like, I feel like I meet people that when you sit with them, they're the talkative type, yes, still, but they're the kind that they make the comments, oh, you're faking this just for the money. And I'm like, no, like I'm genuinely enjoying talking.
You're being
They're-
yourself,
I try
yeah.
to convince them, like,
Oh, they're the most insecure because they're
yes,
sober.
they're so insecure.
And
They're
they
just like,
have a
this
limited
is all
time.
fake.
I've got to be home at
You're
this time.
faking it. Oh. And I'm like,
Day shift
listen,
customers are strange. The weirdest thing that happened last week.
they actually drink alcohol?
This guy, yes, and this guy came in and sat next to another dancer. I won't say her name. Sat next to her, and he was only there for like 4 seconds, and then he got up and like walked around and was creepy. And I'm like, what just happened? Well, he asked me if he could give me $20 to watch him jerk off while I put my foot in his face.
What?
Wow.
Oh, so you hear like the
We
craziest
hear
stories.
it's the real creepers
really
that come in. Yeah. And I'm a talker, so I get to know.
What is your response, sir? I can't
Oh no!
believe.
I just text him because then I thought he would leave after that, being rejected, and
Oh,
there's
you,
only
you
two of
said
us in
you said
there.
I don't do that, or what? Did
No,
you
she was like, "No, sir, we don't do that here." I think y'all already know who I'm talking about with that accent. But
I
anyway,
think you were there when some guy tried to save me. He was like,
Save you.
like
yeah.
Jesus?
yes.
but we get the creepers.
Yeah.
Day shift is a different beast.
He was
Jesus
wanting to buy
loves
me
you.
drinks. As soon as it
I mean,
came
yeah.
time to get dances, he was like, oh no, wait a minute. Do you believe?
Oh,
And
I wonder if you.
not cross that
there
line.
that day.
Yes. And I told you,
Oh my.
So what if you had?
serving us.
What are we would have said if you actually were very religious?
I mean, I told him my views, and he was like, yeah, that's why I I can't pay you. Like it's time for
Hang
you
on a
to
second.
What was he doing there?
leave us life.
What
and
was-
I'm
so-
here to save you. And
Wait,
didn't
did he
pay?
get
but,
services?
you know, pastors will come in and get dances. So I don't.
Oh,
I know that's right.
MG.
So nothing you say is gonna,
Yeah, of course.
you know.
So they'll get your services, but they won't pay you.
No.
No,
Well,
they won't get
my
service.
services.
They're going.
So what are they there for? Just to tell you?
Just to talk.
Just
to
to
Waste her time.
I feel like
save
just
you.
to feel
That's their-
superior.
that's gotta
Just
be-
to be
that's
like,
gotta be
I
their-
am saving you, kind of thing. You are living
Their
this
community
life.
service.
That's cool.
Yeah,
you go.
community service.
He's not washing
There's-
windows.
It's nice benefits.
I'm here, but it's like
It could be door to
I am
door.
here for community service.
You're in the strip club.
Next up
You're
to Jack
buying
said
drinks.
something.
You're
If I
talking
if
to
I
us.
was saving people with Jesus, I would go to the strip club. So I'd be like, hey,
I want to save these hot
you're better
chicks.
than this. And then I mean that's the perfect gimmick. And if you're if you're good looking,
right.
you'd be like
Yeah.
saving all kinds of hoes.
Yeah.
And so
Sign me up, guys.
Circling
I'll
back.
go in.
Circling back. So Phoenix, how do you deal with that? So you get the creepers that come in during the day. So how do you? So how do you deal with them saying, "Oh, this you're faking this," blah blah blah.
I just try to be sweet. So I try.
What's
to
your
be
persona?
sweet
What's
for
your
some-
what's Phoenix like?
She is.
Is she-
Phoenix is
she-
Phoenix.
Is she?
She doesn't have a persona.
I'm
She's her.
blunt.
Sweetheart.
I'm just straightforward. I don't sugarcoat it. Sometimes I feel like maybe I'm not the best dancer, but I'm
Because
just
you have
like because they're always like
Because you're
what do I
real.
get or like
Yeah.
what are you gonna do to make me feel it? I'm like, sir, I'm not gonna have sex with you. Okay, that's
Yeah.
not gonna happen.
Boom.
You're real.
I will
Keep it
massage
professional,
You. I will
yeah.
massage- give you company. I'm here to give you intimate to care like that. Let's hug and
Let's be love. Let's be love.
They ruin their own
We're
fantasy
not-
sometimes.
No,
though.
girl. I'm sorry.
But she does have she's
But
got
I
people
let
that
that out
particularly
so
just love that
fast
about her.
that if it turns it off right off the bat, I already know that it's like
I see you walking out of tables a lot. I'm just kidding.
Oh my god.
I'm just joking. I'm just kidding. No, you gotta be straightforward. That's good.
definitely,
And you don't put up with any shit. So if somebody says some crazy stuff, you're like, all
No,
right,
I
man, I gotta go.
I try to be nice and cordial, but if you like just do anything violent or aggressive, I just like
you
no,
gotta
I'm
go.
hot.
Oh, so you're not
pop
choking. You don't hang out with the guys that like to get choked.
You don't like a
You don't do well with that.
masculine man.
I'll choke them.
Yeah, I would love to do that.
Okay. There's like times
That's
where like
good.
you have given someone a dance and they just grab my hips and like force me.
No.
Like try to control
Oh,
my
I
dance.
can't stand
And
that.
they do that for like 1 second until I turn around and I'm like, you can't do that. That's disrespectful.
Right.
But my tone of voice
Do they
is
stop?
a little meaner.
Do
than
they
that.
stop? Are they
Yes.
when you're assertive, right?
This happened recently.
Would you say the
I
same
just- I
thing?
continued the
No.
dance and they stopped.
I've told
But
guys
then
I'm
they
like
kept-
claustrophobic and they still don't stop. They like try to hold you like this.
Oh, no.
And it's like, no, I can't breathe.
You let
like
me know when that happens.
I hate that.
Will had to throw somebody out last night. Yeah, this guy Will was like, Will's like, do I look like I'm fucking kidding around? And he had this dude and was making him go outside because apparently he grabbed the girl by the neck.
And the funniest part is I was already outside. I was already outside. So I was already outside, and I think Will was eating when this happened because like Will like puts his tie around
Extra
his
cranky?
neck
Yeah.
when he eats.
And he's like,
So he's in the lobby being all mean to this guy with his tie.
Spaghetti stain on it. Like,
defensive already. He was gonna get in a fight.
Will
Love you, Will.
When you put your
Craziest fights
tie to
you've
the back,
been
that means
in.
you're gonna get in a fight.
Will almost kicked me out. Remember?
Oh, yeah?
I was
Really?
yeah, I was.
oh, I want to hear this story.
oh, you were
Wow.
asking
Yeah.
for
I was filming at the
a
club.
cappuccino?
No, girl, just leave me alone with my Starbucks. I was filming at
Leave that out.
the particular venue, and I don't think Will was up to date. That I had.
He was. He just forgot.
Yeah, maybe. I thought he was fucking with me,
He's like, oh yeah.
but you know,
I mean, yeah.
I had a big ass professional camera in there, and he taps me on the shoulder, and he's like, "Sir, you can't film here." And after he taps me on the shoulder, he grabs my arm. I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "You have to go." I'm like, "You're joking." I'm looking up at him like this. You're like, "You're joking, right?" He's like, "No, you have to go." And I'm like, I take my hat off. I'm like, "It's me. It's Sam. I'm here to film." And he's like, "Oh, my bad, man."
See him saying it like
That's
that.
what I'm saying. He knew it. He just like,
He's on it.
You guys keep us safe though. You
Yeah.
guys are our protectors.
yeah, man, we ain't fucking around.
You do a good job, and you'll get to that point if you need
You've
to.
seen some crazy things.
Just
Yeah.
people.
What's the craziest like? I
Yeah.
don't know interaction you guys have had. fight.
I had a
whatever.
recent one. I won't go too much into detail, but I had a dude. He was super intoxicated. Might have been on drugs. Got him out of the club. He was in the parking lot. We were getting him out of the parking lot, and he was getting aggressive with the cars. And he kicked some cars, and so security was there, and I heard the wham, So that really upset me because now he's fucking with other customers' property.
Yeah.
So I go up there. I'm like, you need to get out of here, man. So I started being nice, and Will was right there, and security was right there. But he was just he was definitely on something. He was very aggressive, and he was like 6 feet tall. And we went through the trees through the trees to another parking lot, and he was trying to charge.
I was there.
Wait,
Yeah, this is crazy.
dragged him through?
Huh?
No, he
No, they were
pushed him
chasing
down.
We got in an
okay.
altercation, and the guy
Took
made
off
it
through the
through the
woods.
forest, not on his own accord.
You're like, you're
and,
not getting away that
and
quick.
so then we're now in the next parking lot, and then he's like takes his shirt off, and he's making like he's gonna charge at me. So I grabbed a stick from the trees, and I said, if you're gonna come next to me, you're gonna charge me, I'm gonna beat your ass with this stick.
What?
And he was like, ah!
Like the whole.
And he almost had like foam, and he was so tall, and he was so fucked up, and he charged at me.
fully believed it,
so
yeah.
I charged him, so I just whacked him with like a baseball.
With a
guy.
branch.
I was like, I'm in a game.
That was a stick.
And it was a branch, yeah.
Yeah.
And I boomed, and I hit him right here by the ribs, and he's like, ah. and then I just and I had been
Just like that.
it took me like almost like 30 minutes to get to that space. So my patience was just ran out, and I lost control, and so I just kind of took it out on him a little bit. But I was hitting him in places that he was not gonna get hurt permanently. And then he wouldn't. Still, he got up again. He threatened me again, and I'm like, I was like, get the fuck out of here.
What was he
And
drinking?
he finally listened to me, and he just walked
Something
off.
you served up.
And then the next day he came back, and he had left his credit card and ID.
Oh, yeah,
So he had
what a
walked out on a tab, and so he paid for his tab, and Will was like, "Hey man, you were something else last night." He's like, "Oh, I don't remember anything."
Right.
And he's like, "But I got so many bruises," and he lifts his shirt up, and he's all beat up. That was
yeah, you rolled on the
And
stick.
listen, I gave you guys the cliff notes. It was a whole movie, and I just
Quentin
I came back inside, and everybody was like, I said, "No, I'm good.
Did you guys used to get really busy during CIAA week?
Yeah.
We got somebody. Everybody
Back in
was
the
very
day.
respectful.
I used to work nightclub security back in the day. I used to call that.
Anytime there's any events,
CIAA, I worked in the epicenter.
Mayweather fights used
Very
to
nice.
be the
Oh, was?
craziest.
yeah,
Epicenter was next.
It
The nicer
was
people.
he had a lot of pull.
packed.
I remember.
No, anytime there's any events in any
CIAA,
city, they tend to prop the business of the strip clubs. I mean, people
so you
visiting
guys
other
know.
people mostly. We get a lot of people from out of town, so when people go out of town, they play out. They hang out and they let themselves a little loose. Normally, they don't go to the places in their hometown because they might run into somebody they know.
Right.
So
True.
yeah,
But
get a lot of that.
I got a good one though.
All right.
So like,
Got a few more minutes.
yeah, this one guy, the bartender tells me, he's like, "Hey, I think this guy's videotaping over there." I knew the guy, but I mean, I didn't have a problem with the guy ever before. He was kind of a regular, so I kind of like go behind him to see if he was actually videotaping, because a lot of times guys are just on their phones and they're not actually videotaping; they're just on their phone. But this guy was, so I like tap him and I'm like, "Hey, man, you gotta delete those." I was actually being really nice because he's like, he comes in all the time at that point.
Yeah.
And he just kind of like freaks out, and then I grab his phone and I can tell like he has a lot of pictures like of the club, and he takes off like running for the door, like he wants to leave with these
Oh, he
pictures.
leaves with
Oh
his
my
phone.
God.
He
Right,
leaves
he-
you with the phone.
No, he takes off for the door, and I'm like, I need to delete this.
His hand or your hand?
So I'm like, no, it's still in his hand,
Okay.
right? But I'm like, you can't leave with like he had like hundreds probably on his phone.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I didn't
Carlos
think
takes his job very serious.
I didn't think it was like a big deal to like, hey, bro, just like I wasn't mad, like just delete your pictures, right? So like I like run after the live. I'm like, hey man, you just gotta delete the photos, like no big deal, like you're like, I'm not mad, like you just can't do that, right? And the guy like throws me up against like the wall. Like he was bigger than me. He throws me up against the wall. And I'm like, oh, we're in a fight. Like I was still like, I'm like, bro, you just got to delete the pictures. You're not we're in a
Carlos,
fight.
You were
activate.
still in dialogue.
I was like, yeah, you just got to delete the pictures. And like, I didn't, because we had security and stuff, and I didn't feel like I needed to call security because I didn't feel threatened.
Right.
So I didn't call security. And he throws me up against the wall, and I'm not. Now that I realize we're in a fight, I just start punching. So I like, this guy is like trying to grab me, and I, like he was bigger than me, so all I could punch was his abdomen. So I just started punching his stomach, right? And he's trying to grab me, and I guess at some point somebody heard that it was happening, and they called security. Security's coming in, and he, security was this big guy. He rest in peace, Stan.
Oh yeah.
He came in. He came in to have my back. I mean, at that point, I was just beating this guy up in his abdomen, and all of a sudden, you just smell shit.
Oh no,
Right?
bro.
This is a better story than I thought
So
it was going to be.
it is just like,
Wow. There's a
ooh.
lot of stories.
It's a shitty situation.
It's like,
Please finish. What's going on?
so it's like,
Carlos.
holy shit. So there's just
Literally.
like shit.
Literally.
So the guy's like talking shit, blah, blah, the security guard takes him outside. The security guard was way bigger than me. So the guy's kind of listening to the security guard, but I'm pissed, I'm in a fight. I couldn't like turn it off. I'm still like,
No, you're not
a
pissed,
little
you're
bit
shitting
raging,
on.
right? And the guy literally digs his hand in his pants
No.
and throws the shit.
Hell no. Hell no.
So he didn't actually hit us. He didn't hit us, but yeah, he did.
Dodgeball.
Yeah,
I don't even. I lost for words.
yeah. That was,
He really wanted this.
You don't want to get any. You don't want to get closer to him to
God.
retaliate.
at that point, like I was just like, get out of here, get out of here.
just leave, man.
Abort mission.
Okay, that was.
Mission for sure.
Yeah,
I think it's illegal to throw poop
yeah,
to
it's a
people.
felony.
It's a felony. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a felony.
Yeah.
All right, who cleaned that shit up?
It was in the parking lot at that point, so
Oh,
like
thank
I don't
God.
think
Just
anybody
washed it
did,
off, probably.
Power wash.
Probably raining that night.
At least it wasn't inside.
Thank God I never saw that guy again.
Oh my god.
All right, guys, we're gonna wrap this one up. Thank you guys for tuning in to episode 3 of
fun.
Night Shift Uncensored. Ladies, you guys did an amazing job. Carlos, David, hope you guys have a great
you,
day,
ladies.
and I look
Thank you,
forward to
guys.
episode number 4. Thank you so much.
Stay tuned.